So I corrected you. There's nothing to go on.
No, but you're saying that the film was labelled as racist for seeing humans as being superior to monkeys.
The original, not the reboot. The original, the one from the 60s.
Of course, Richard. And I'm questioning that.
Well, it was based on a book called Monkey Planet.
That's correct.
And that was considered to be a racist diatribe. But that was wrong as well, wasn't it?
Of course.
There's nothing racist about telling the honest truth, which is that humans are better than monkeys.
No, I'm saying that the label is incorrect. I'm not saying that the model is correct at all, because humans clearly aren't superior to monkeys. You don't need to look far to get the evidence for that.
I've never seen a chimpanzee get to level 30 on Tetris.
Case closed. Maybe I've got more interesting things to do with their life, Richard.
And let me tell you something else. When you said that when they rose up, they didn't harm any humans, even though they have the right to.
I didn't say that. You misquoted me. I said they didn't kill humans.
They didn't kill. Okay, they didn't kill any humans. Well, if you'd have been there, Nathaniel, they'd have killed you.
They wouldn't.
They'd have seen you as the shallow slug that you are.
They'd have seen me as a defender of their rights. They'd have put flowers in my hair.
They'd have seen you as an enemy.
They wouldn't, Richard. They'd have loved me. They'd have thrown shit at you.
They would have seen you as nothing but an enemy, and they would have destroyed you.
They'd have picked their arse and flicked it at you. That's what they'd have done.
So, what rating would you give to Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
9.5 out of 10.
Whoa!
Magnificent.
9.5 out of 10. Whew. That's the top rating we've given so far, isn't it?
It is so far.
Wow. Well, even though I enjoyed the spectacle, even though I thought the special effects were marvellous, the fact that the message was so corrupting means I can only give this film 6 out of 10.
Okay, folks, so this is the part of the broadcast where we talk about a classic or an old movie. Today's movie for discussion is Being John Malkovich. This 1999 movie, surprisingly enough, about John Malkovich, stars a character called Craig Schwartz, who's a failing puppeteer. He discovers by chance a portal that takes you into the head of John Malkovich. He sets up a business with the object of his desires, Maxine, charging people to enter the portal and so become Malkovich for 15 minutes. Maxine has no interest in Schwartz except when he's in Malkovich, and so the puppeteer does the ultimate bit of puppeteering by entering the portal and taking over the Malkovich personality for good, in order to win his woman and set up his own puppeteering business using the notoriety of John Malkovich. He gets his wish and he loses everything, but we won't reveal too much. Your thoughts? Did you see it, Richard?
Of course I saw it. Didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
We're all ears as to why.
Cameron Diaz was in this film. Now she is an extraordinarily beautiful woman.
We agree so far.
She is absolutely divine.
Well, maybe not in this movie, Richard.
Well, this is what I was coming to. In this film, Cameron Diaz was made to look frumpy, and I thought that was offensive.
You don't think Cameron Diaz has more in the locker than to play a pretty bit, no?
When I watch a Hollywood movie starring Cameron Diaz, a woman so beautiful, it makes me want to do things that the Lord wouldn't approve of. I don't want to see her looking like my bloody wife.
Well, Cameron Diaz may be a little offended at your views, Richard, but they're your views nonetheless. Carry on. What did you actually think of the movie, other than Cameron Diaz's appearance?
I thought that the setup was interesting. It's a pretty original idea, I think. This idea of going through a tiny, almost like a little hobbit door,
absolutely,
and down a filthy tunnel sliding down some kind of chute, and then when you get to the bottom, you're peering at the world through John Malkovich's eyes. There's not many films I can think of that have even an approximation of that plot. So it's really original, which is to be commended, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it really pretty difficult to watch. John Malkovich is entitled to his privacy, in the same way that some modern celebrities are entitled to theirs, unless a News of the World journalist happens to be tapping their phone.
Oh, there we go. But it's just a film, Richard.
But do you think it was just a film?
I don't think it was real life.
I'm not an idiot. I didn't think it was a documentary. What I mean is, do you think it is simply a work of fiction, or is it trying to be something more? And is not that very fact the thing that topples it over into the realm of pretentiousness, pretentious waffle?
It's not pretentious waffle, Richard. It is obviously a very, very fictional piece of art, but there's certainly a message there. Maybe you've missed the message, Richard. I'm not sure.
John Cusack is a puppeteer, right?
He is.
He's a pervert, painting the tiny nails of his mannequin girlfriend. He's a pervert. He's sick.
Actually, were you the guy that in the scene where Craig Schwartz got punched? Maybe it was you.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're making out the character Craig Schwartz, the failing puppeteer, to be a pervert. Yes. If you recall, Richard, how long ago was it you saw the film? But there's a scene in this movie where he's trying to get his business started, so he goes out onto the street, much as the same as a busker would, trying to make a few pennies.
This is right, and that's right, and the dad gets angry, doesn't he, because of the kids? Yeah. Okay.
He sees him as a pervert.
He's a pervert. That man was absolutely correct to punch him.
Don't be an idiot. The guy's making a story. And just because a little girl sees a somewhat intimate and quite, crazy scene, it doesn't make the man a pervert.
I don't want children to watch mannequins humping.
Well, they weren't humping. They were only trying to hump through the wall, so you get your detail right for a start.
You're splitting hairs there, aren't you?
I'm not splitting. I'll maybe split
hairs. They were attempting to rub their genitals against one another. The fact that there was a wall in the way is neither here nor there.
I think it probably is kind of here or there. But I do take your point, I suppose. But if we can get back to the message, I thought the overriding message of the movie, and I do like to bang on about the messages, just purely to annoy you, if anything else.
Because you're as pretentious as the people that made this film.
I wouldn't say I'm pretentious, Richard, and I wouldn't call the makers of the film pretentious, as fictional as it is. But the message is clearly there to not to try to be anyone else. You are who you are, and you need to maximise your own potential, and you'll never do that by trying to become someone else.
This is a discourse on celebrity culture. It is nothing more than a media studies student's wet dream. It's pathetic.
I think it's a little bit better than pathetic, Richard. I marvelled at the movie. It left me agog. Towards the end, there were even kind of theories of reincarnation being thrown around, which is always kind of grabbed my interest. That only served to increase the interest of an already fascinating movie. I absolutely loved it.
The characters are only interested in Malkovich because he's bald. You're going bald, Nathaniel. We're not interested in you.
When did you last see me?
I saw you a couple of weeks ago.
And did I look bald to you then?
Well, you're going bald. I didn't say you were bald. I said you're going bald.
Going bald?
Yes, you've got a little peak. A little spot appearing at the top of your head, like an old man.
If someone shaved all my hair off and threw it at a young child, it would knock them over. I don't know how you determine that as being bald.
Listen, if I discovered a portal into your mind, I'd sell tickets to every grizzled, sperm-crazed gay man I could find.
Oh, they'd be
See how you like that?
They'd be welcome, Richard.
See how you like that?
15 minutes inside me to transform them.
They'd be absolutely appalled.
And when I say inside me, I mean no.
Oh, that is just such an obvious statement to make. Such an obvious comment from an obvious man.
Well, of course it is. It winds you up. What more reason do I need?
This film was a disgusting left-wing indulgence. It made me sick.
This film was a potent message, full of art and interesting ideas, to evoke marvellousness in the brain.
Marvellousness in the brain? Is that the best you can come up with?
It is. I think it's quite a worthwhile statement to make. Everyone needs a bit of marvellousness in the brain, Richard.
I was rendered speechless for perhaps 10 minutes after I'd watched it. The only reason I completed the movie is because I'm a professional and I feel that it's important. I would have switched this off after 30 minutes, but I felt it important to continue. I felt it important that I could contribute to this podcast.
And you're to be commended for that. Well, congratulations. It's very difficult staying with a film if you're really not enjoying it. So fair play to you. Well done, Richard.
I was offended by it.
Not as much as probably Cameron Diaz was offended by it.
It made me angry.
But there we go.
Well, Cameron Diaz, she is just so beautiful. So beautiful. And to waste her in that way, it just seemed a dreadful shame.
Is that all she is to you? Just a convenient arrangement of pixels on a screen that makes you aroused? Is that all she is to you? This woman is a talented Hollywood actress. Allow her to express herself.
I don't want to. I don't want to. What would you give this movie, Nathaniel?
9 out of 10.
I dread to think, to be honest.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. So you've given Rise of the Planet of the Apes 9.5, and now this one 9.
I've had a cracking film.
Have you been taking ecstasy? Is that why you're so full of love?
No, I don't need ecstasy for that. What do you give?
I'm going to give it, and I'm being generous, 3 out of 10. It was dreadful.
Okay, folks, so this is the part of the broadcast where we talk about current affairs, things that's going on in the news at the moment. And it seems quite prudent to talk about the Libya crisis. Libyan rebels and government troops have been locked in a fierce battle for months, following a popular uprising against Colonel Muammar Gaddafi's 42-year rule. I think we're both familiar with the situation in Libya and what's been going on, Richard. Have you got any comments on it?
I have indeed, yes. In my opinion, the Libyan rebels are no better than the rioters that we saw in England last week.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Do you want to expand on that a little?
There's a reason they're called rebels.
There is.
It's an anagram of blears.
And blears means what?
Well, doubtless, just like the rioters, they're bleary-eyed, cranked up on alcohol, or they've snorted a wrap of Sensimilia, dropped an acid bong, or ingested huge amounts of horse tranquilizers through their anuses.
That could be the reason. I'm sure there are plenty of Libyans who don't indulge in such activities.
They're criminals